Hi again, welcome to Parent Tips. Thank you for joining us. This is our second episode in our question and answer series on sexual abuse. And so for the past few weeks, we've been talking about sexual abuse in children. And so we thought to take another few weeks to answer some of the questions that people were asking on our social media platforms. So thank you for joining us. Now, today's question is a bit detailed, and someone is asking, what do you do if your child or a child you know has been sexually abused and they come to you? What do you do if your child or a child you know is sexually abused and they come to confide in you? The first thing you do is stay steady, because the one thing that child is looking for is a reassurance that this is not a panic situation, to be honest. Because if you panic and if you look devastated, then the child can almost feel helpless, because they don't feel like you're able to now step in and protect them. So as devastating as this information may be, as painful as it may be, stay steady. This also is an opportunity for you to assure the child that what was done to them is completely wrong and that they are not damaged, that it is possible for them to come out of this. It is possible for them to be protected. It is possible for this not to happen to them again. So stay steady, let the child not feel like it is the end of the world, and not in an insensitive way, but just in a way to help to ground them and to help to make them feel that you're able to handle this situation. But secondly, thank them for confiding in you. Tell them, hey, I'm really happy that you came to tell me this. I think this is very courageous of you. I think this is very brave of you. Thank you for trusting me to come and tell me this. Thirdly, believe them and tell them so. I've personally come across adults who were sexually abused when they were children, and the most hurtful thing they had to say was that their parents did not believe them, their mother did not believe them, their dad did not believe them, and hence they did nothing about it. That is very painful for a child, because if a child knows that they were not believed, no matter what happens to them, they will not be able to come and tell you, because they do not think that you think much of them. So please tell the child you believe them, and believe them for real. Number 4 is reestablish safety for that child, because the child may feel very insecure, especially as concerns an adult's ability to protect them. Reestablish safety for that child. Tell them you're there for them, you're there to protect them, to do anything in your power to make sure that no one hurts them again, and you'll do what it takes to ensure that they are not hurt again. So reestablish safety for the child, because the child will be feeling insecure. Number 5, tell them what was done to them is wrong. Tell them no matter who did this to you, that was very wrong and you are not to blame, because many abusers blame the child or use reverse psychology to make the child feel like it is their fault that they were abused, that it is their fault that they were hurt. Reiterate to the child that what was done to them is very wrong and they are not to blame in any way. That is an adult and this is a child. So there is nothing that a child can do to make an adult hurt them or to make an adult abuse them. So please tell them that and make sure they feel that they are not to blame for anything. Number 6 is take action. Sometimes it can feel like it's embarrassing, like it's a shame to talk about this, but you need to take action, because you on your own are not able to fully protect this child. So if possible, pull in another trusted adult, if it's the father to the child, if it's a trusted auntie or a grandmother or a relative whom you really trust and the child is close to. Confide in them so that you're now able to draw a support system for the child and around the child to protect them and to make them feel that you're out there to protect them and watch over them, and you're out there for their own good. But a second way of taking action is actually reporting to the authorities. And the reason why I feel personally it is important to report to the authorities is mainly to protect other victims. You know, when you don't report sexual abuse, the offender is out there looking for other victims, even if he has left yours alone, or your child alone, or the child you know alone. He's out there looking for other victims. She is out there looking for other victims. So it's important that you report to the authorities as soon as possible, as soon as you find out. And once you've had that conversation with the child, please report to the authorities so that whoever is concerned in offending the child can be arrested, and in turn you can protect other prospective victims. And so in short, that's some of the ways I feel I would answer your question of what do you do if a child confides to you that they have been sexually abused. So I hope that information is helpful. I feel that it is very practical, and it's something you can do with a child, especially a child who is able to talk and to understand what has happened to them. So all the best as you go into your week. Next week we'll be tackling yet another question. We're very excited about that. Specifically, what do you do when it's a close relative who is abusing your child? How do you handle that conflict in the family, and how do you handle that conversation? And I'm looking forward to that. So please remember to follow us on social media: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Parent Tips KE. Interact and throw in your questions there, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them as we go along. Have a lovely day. Bye.